his name up in lights. Don Miller is live every Thursday night. He's bold, he's real, no filters, no shade. When hits the mic, the truth gets laid. Don's in the building, his swag so tight. Check your feelings, he's exposing all the lies. Every Thursday at 8, his voice takes the stage. The man's got soul like a record with age.
Yes.
Is it time to do the show?
It's time.
Hey, everybody, this is Don Miller. Thank you so much for joining me. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, I am so excited that you have hung in there with me, man. I appreciate you. I love you guys. I'm going to shout out some people today that have always been in my corner. And listen, people, just because people are in your circle don't mean they're in your corner. Remember that Don Miller said, just because they're in your circle don't mean they're in your corner. It's a big-ass difference. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, subscribe and like. Tell your friends about this broadcast. Subscribe and like. We really need to, Phil, we just need the support, man. We thank you so much. Shout out to Phil, the podcast doctor. Phil, who you got over there with you?
I got my crew here. I got Kaylin and Maui.
Hey, guys, listen, man. I'm telling you right now, this is the best team I've ever worked with. Baby, can't forget to shout out Amber Cuchilla. She is amazing. I had to stop calling her the name I was calling her, but she is amazing, and she is absolutely a giant part of what we do. Thank you so much again, everyone. I'm so excited to be here because it's been a lot going on in the news, and oftentimes, thank you so much, PJ. Oftentimes, it's ridiculousness. Hey, Adley, how are you? Oftentimes, it's a lot of ridiculousness, and I just want to say, because I'm black. I don't know if y'all noticed that. I'm black. Like
What?
Yeah, I'm black. I'm a foundational black American. That means that my ancestors were placed on a ship and came to this land, okay, not on their own accord. It's a big-ass difference, right? You keep hearing people raise their hand and talk about that from different aspects of it, but foundational black Americans, that's what I am, okay? I'm not African American. I am a foundational black American, so I'm black, okay? I'm American, absolutely, 100%. I'm black, 100%, but I come from people that are foundational, brought to this land, not on their own accord. And if you disagree with me, feel free to join me. Anyway, hey, everybody, again, subscribe and like. Tell your friends, subscribe and like. We have been doing this for a while now, and I just want to thank a whole bunch of people who have gotten behind me and supported me, but I'm going to get to that before the show is over. I want to talk about black people. Look, if you are of sensitive, if things get under your skin about the conversation about race, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to turn this off, because I don't know how you're going to feel about what I'm getting ready to say.
Uh-oh.
So if you're sensitive, you might want to turn this off. I won't use any negative or harsh connotations, but I just want to break this conversation down as a 60-some-year-old black man who come from a very difficult circumstance, and today I'm sitting in a studio talking to people of all races. Please understand, some of the shit y'all talk about don't have nothing to do with me. Some of you people who claim a struggle because it sounds amazing and got shit to do with Don Miller. I have people that I love from all walks, and oftentimes, I feel more loved from people outside of my culture than I do from those in my culture. With that being said, I want to get to this conversation. I grew up in the 60s. I was born in the 60s. Probably don't remember a whole lot from the 60s up until probably late 60s. But I saw something as a kid who kind of got Phil, you would think pretty much, a photographic memory. I remember stuff. I got this thing about remembering stuff.
Okay.
I remember America, especially black America, urban America, where I come from, that even in the most difficult times, people carried themselves a certain way. Women publicly carried themselves a certain way. Black women for sure. That's who I'm talking to. I'm going to spend some time tonight on this one. No matter what the situation was. You could be a single mom or whatever. The fact is, when you were out in public and you were engaging, you understood the importance of doing it in a proper manner. And it takes me back to the great works of Harriet Tubman, Phil. Harriet Tubman. Y'all all know the story of Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. And then we go to the March on Washington. This is who we were. 1 million people marching on Washington. Black people, white people, all races engaged in a conversation about coming together and moving away from that era. It was beautiful. And then came Dr. King, who eloquently laid out the conversation unlike anyone before his time. And there were some great people, for sure. But he eloquently laid the conversation out, and we saw people come together. Black people, white people. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to watch, and more importantly, it told us we could do it. And then in 1984, when I was old enough to understand what beautiful things sounded like and looked like, I came across this speech in 1984. And it's one of the greatest speeches that Donnie Miller, as many people know me from that era, I couldn't, it was amazing. I want you to listen to this.
And inheriting the legacy of a great party. The Democratic Party, which is the best hope for redirecting our nation on a more humane, just, and peaceful course. This is not a perfect party. We're not a perfect people. Yet we are called to a perfect mission. Our mission: to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to house the homeless.
Okay, stop it right there. Now again, if you recall, he was a nomination. It was during the nomination for President of the United States, Jesse Jackson, 1984. For those who read, because books don't what?
Oh, crap.
Books don't bite, right? For those who read, understood that was a momentous occasion. Now, of course, he was singing praises to the Democratic Party, but it was a momentous moment. And people came together, and they acted like they had some damn sense, right? And I look at these moments, and even in the political discourse, there were still people who engaged across the line. Because even though the problem was bigger than the party, which is where we are today, the problem is bigger than the party right now. We're at crisis. It was everybody carried themselves and conducted themselves a certain way. I just want to ask the question today, Phil. Mm-hmm. We doing too much, first of all. And why are we doing too much? Black folk, what the hell are we doing? And then you out here talking about the Republicans and white people. And every time I almost threw my cell phone out the window. But I just bought it. What is wrong with us? And maybe you'll be like Don Miller, he goes on there and he talks bad about black people. I talk bad about black people with black people. But ain't no cameras. What are we doing? The expectation of how the Negro engages has fallen to a low that I'm totally uncomfortable and extremely unfamiliar with. What are we doing? And then we cheer on nonsense like it's an amazing moment. Phil, let me ask you a question.
All right.
Did you see the black man, allegedly he's a Muslim brother, who had a son, didn't have a prom date, or did have a prom date. His daddy showed up to take him to prom.
Ooh.
I want y'all to watch this, and I'm going to ask you the question, guys. Don't take this the wrong way. If y'all want to cancel me, I just want y'all to know I've been canceled before. It's all good. I ain't
canceled you years ago.
Yeah, I've been canceled. So here's a guy who shows up to take his son on the prom. Dresses just like his son, uses the same color. But listen to this. Watch this video.
My husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
Don't mess up that makeup, Jasmine.
Cancel me.
Jasmine.
Cancel me now. Stop it, Phil. Cancel me now. I'm canceled. Don Miller is canceled. Because ain't no way in the hell I'm going to do that. Let me ask you, Phil. Okay. You a parent. Would you do that?
No.
I don't care how much you ask the gentleman over there, Phil. Nobody would. Come on. And I'm watching these people out here, especially, man, what are y'all talking? This is highly ridiculous. Okay? Highly, highly ridiculous. I got into a debate. Would I take my son? I'm like, call him and ask him. I say, call him and ask him. They called him and asked him. He's like, hell no, you would never. He told me you'd probably give me $200, tell me to leave the house immediately. Hell no. Phil.
Yeah.
I'm not. Look at this young man. You still got that. Let me just say this, guys. This is a man.
My
This is a
husband
boy.
surprised his son by taking
That's a
him to the
boy.
prom.
That's a boy with a dress on and fingernails, but he's a boy. Now, if you support this, that's on you. But I can tell you, you're engaging in his mental illness.
Oh, yeah.
That's mental illness. I don't care what anybody says. There's boy's a boy and a girl's a girl. And then the daddy, I don't, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some guys out here, not Don Miller. I'm not sorry, son. I love you, but I ain't with all that. Nope. Here's a couple $100. Go do your thing. Okay? Hell is hot. Ain't no water there. Huh? Hell is hot. Ain't no water there. Glenn Allgood always lining up with nonsense. He's a modern father. All right, Glenn, sure, you wouldn't do it. Hell is hot. Ain't no water there. Right? My point is this. How did we get here from whence we've come? How did we get to this moment? How did we get to this moment, Phil?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
And I'm amazed, right, at the people who are out saying, this is good, this is okay. Like Glenn. Glenn says he's a modern father. You a lie and the truth ain't in you, Glenn. You could be a parent and say no to nonsense. That's nonsense. If he say, hey, I'm gay, hey, all right, you gay, go on over there, I'll see you in a minute. To show up and ride you somewhere in a whole ass dress with fingernails and makeup and a wig, no, son, I don't mean no harm, son. I'm going to pray for you. You're going to make me join church because I ain't doing this. I'm not in it. And somebody told me today, how dare you, Don? That's a young man. No, yeah, you're right. He is a young man, but he dressed up like a woman. And his daddy, I guarantee you, I don't know them people from Adam. I tell you what, there's probably some strain in that father-son relationship. I'm telling you, you're right, PJ. There's some strain in that father-son relationship. He ain't been there. He ain't been there, Phil. Okay? Because even if he been there, the son would be like, okay, I'm going to be gay. He'd be like, all right, I love you, man. I don't condone it, but I love you. Go on, be gay. Bye. But you talking about, can you drop me off? No, son, I can't drop you off looking like that.
You said he was a Muslim?
Yeah, allegedly he's a Muslim. I don't know how they're going to handle that at the mosque, but that's a whole nother conversation. But the point I make is this. How did we get here, Phil? Phil, how did we find ourselves engaging? You got to, look, I'm going to tell some black people secrets today on the show. Black people ain't do that. We didn't do that. And what's homosexuality in the black community as well? Yeah, well, we ain't do that though. Right?
Yeah.
It was prevalent in the church. I come from the church, but we ain't do that. See, there's different levels to this, I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Like, that's too much. And if this father thinks that that's going to help him with his relationship with his son, which is what it is, sir, it's a son, then fine. I just wouldn't do it. And I think it's pretty ridiculous to showcase and people to, like Glenn Allgood, say that's a modern father. Glenn, you wouldn't do it. Cut it out. It's amazing how we have gotten so sucked in to the narrative and to propaganda that some of the things we say and some of the things we do, it just makes no sense, Phil.
Glenn with the rebuttal.
You won't say that about Magic Johnson. I've been said. I said it first about Irvin. I don't even call him Magic. Okay? Said it first about Irvin. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. I said it about Irvin Johnson. And I love Irvin Johnson. Right? But that ain't okay with me. I'm just saying, because people ask me to comment on this. That's what I tend to do. Answer. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. But more importantly, he wouldn't even ask me to do it.
Because he would just know.
He know his dad. You hear me, Phil? Mm-hmm. He wouldn't even ask me. He wouldn't even be like, all right, man, I love you. I love you, Dad. I'm going to go down here, change clothes in the Wawa parking lot. You know what I mean? He ain't going to even walk about the house like that. And guess what? I respect him. I respect his wishes when he get past 18. When you in my house, them khakis on the bed. Them khakis over there on the bed. Right? Put them khakis on, that polo, get your ass on down there to school. Okay? Now, if you want to stop at your friend's house and change clothes, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But stop on the way back, put them khakis back on. No. So what is she saying, Phil?
She says, wonder if Don would go to the wedding.
No, I wouldn't go to a gay wedding. No. Hold on. Have I been to? No, I've been invited to a couple of gay weddings.
Did you go?
I said, hell no. And I said, I can't believe you invite me to your wedding. I don't even condone your behavior. Pour me some wine. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I said. Yeah, I got a couple of gay friends. I got a couple of gay friends that are married. I got a gay friend that I've known for 40 years. Been married to this dude for 35 years. When they wasn't fashionable, they wasn't married because they couldn't get married. They moved in 35 years ago. They still together. They look old as hell. And I was like, man, you look way older than me. And I thought for a moment, because he been doing some things, okay, that I haven't done before. But I ain't say that to him because I love him. Love you, Marshall, man.
Oh, my God.
But Phil, I talk like this around my people, right? Mm-hmm. And no, I would not go, Sandra, to a gay wedding. I've been invited to several gay weddings. And I got my gay friends. Shout out to Philip and Carlos. I love y'all. They know I love them, right? Mm-hmm. They got an amazing restaurant that I love going to. But I ain't getting ready to do all that extra stuff. The fact of the matter is this. There are different levels. And we got to be careful when we deal with young people on this. I don't think that was, I don't know, maybe he's not my son, but 17, what is he, 16, 17 years old?
Yeah, prom around 17, yeah.
Nah, you ain't wearing that. I'm going to take you buy you a nice-ass suit, but you ain't wearing that, all right? And you could be mad at me, but you ain't wearing that up out of here.
Saunders like, even if it was your son's wedding?
Come on. Hell no, if it was my son's wedding. He'd be in there marrying. So God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Let's be clear, right? God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. I am not, what's the word if you don't like gay people?
Homophobic?
No, I'm not homophobic, right? But I'm transphobic as hell. Oh. Let me say that one more time, okay?
We're getting blocked.
I'm not homophobic. Shout out to all my friends, man. I love y'all. They know I don't even, but I'm kind of transphobic. I think I'm transphobic.
Why?
Because when I look at this young man and I look at how the enablers are engaging in this, and maybe it's just me being an old school black guy who's been canceled a time or two, I am not homophobic. You've had my gay friends in the studio, Phil. Mm-hmm. Okay? They're my boys, right? Yeah, I saw the nails. That's the point, Glenn. But I think I'm transphobic. And so if I get canceled for being transphobic, then I'm sorry. I won't say it in front of other people, just on the Don Miller Show. But I do think I'm transphobic.
Glenn's asking what's the difference. There's a big difference.
Oh, come on, Glenn. Let me tell you what the difference is, right? My gay friend Randy called me up. Yo, meet me for a beer. I was like, what are we meeting? He's like, the ale house. Be there in a moment. Okay. My other friend called me up with a whole ass dress on. Hey, Don, meet me for a beer. What you got on? A dress. No, I can't do that today. All right? Who among us will go sit at the table with a whole ass dude with a 3-day growth and a whole ass dress on? So if that's, no, I guess I'm transphobic. I feel that, you know?
Yeah. I guess.
No, my thing is this, guys. So I'm going to say this one more time. Shout out to my friend Randy. I love you, man. So Randy called me up. Yo, what you doing, D-Mill? Oh, man, I'm sitting here. It's like, come have a beer with me. Where you at? I'll be there in a minute. Right? If I had a tranny friend, I would have to ask this question. What you got on?
Oh my God. So you
I'm just being honest.
You wouldn't go to dinner with Caitlyn Jenner?
Hell no. No. I'm sorry. Man, come on, man. Do people understand that there is a real attack on men right now in society? There's an attack on men. There's an attack on the nuclear family. And every day when we engage in this and buy into these fake ass names that they're making up, okay, then we are attacking the nuclear family. We're attacking men. We're attacking masculinity. Y'all do that on your own, because Don Miller ain't getting involved in that. Don, what you doing? Nothing. Come have a beer with me. I'll be there in a minute. So, yeah, man, I'm homophobic. No, I'm transphobic. Is transphobic is the word? Mm-hmm. So again, okay, that's why we need strong alpha masculine men in the household. You're right, Michelle. So I just wanted to get that off my chest because people kept sending me that, asking me what I thought. The little white lady sent me that, and she's like, oh, my goodness, did you see this? And I was like, Amber, you know I saw it. Everybody saw it, but everybody ain't going to talk about it because people get ready. They worried about they going to get a sponsor, man.
Let me ask you a quick question, though, just to maybe play devil's advocate.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
All right, so let's say that young man had a lot of issues with his father, and maybe he obviously maybe had some mental issues, and he was on the verge of maybe committing suicide, right? And his father showing up for him, going to him with prom, putting that aside, putting his thoughts aside that one time. You don't think that could have made a difference in his life? That could have saved his life?
Okay, let me explain something to you. You know any trans people?
Yes.
Okay. A trans person that spend that much money on a dress ain't gonna kill themselves. All right, let's just be clear, okay? I'm transphobic, but I know some trans. He was gonna wear that dress. Yeah. No, he might do something later on, but he wearing that damn dress. That's a badass dress. Show that dress.
My
man.
husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
That's a double-breasted dress. Huh? He was gonna wear that dress if nobody came to see him. Huh? Come on, man. Y'all play too much, man. Don't be on here with this nonsense. So listen, everybody well, what if he didn't know his dad? I ain't know my dad, and if he walked right here in this studio right now, I'd slap the shit out of him. Okay? Yes, I would. Okay? I'm just telling y'all the truth. Let me tell you why, guys. Because I still, even though I have been to counseling for a long time, I still hold resentment that he dipped out. And I always think, even no matter what I've done or what I've achieved in life, I always think, what would Donnie Miller be like if his daddy was at the house? I watched my mama struggle. And she did it. She struggled. Never complained. She did it. So the whole concept of me, and I felt terrible when I would think about it, what if he was around after my mama going hard in the paint. Yeah, if he walked in here right now, I'd slap the shit out of him. I ain't gonna even lie. They'd be like, security! Donnie Miller just slapped his dad. The point I make is this. Being a dad and being a father, there's a difference. I know people don't understand, but it's a difference, okay? This young man probably had some challenges with the gentleman. And sometimes as parents, and I'm guilty of it, we tend to overcompensate. And sometimes we overcompensate to the detriment of our child. Think about what I just said, because I didn't even think I was going to say that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we overcompensate to the detriment of our child. So even when we're overcompensating, it's important that we understand the situation. This dad overcompensated to what possibly be the detriment of this kid. Okay? I'm just saying this, guys. How did we get here how did we get here? How is this okay? And why are there so many people who I know disagree with it, Phil? This is what I want to hit on. That publicly will stand and cheer. I can't trust none of y'all. I know somebody who was like, man, that's terrible. Then he was talking to some other people. He's like, oh, I think that was a solid dad. Dude, you just said that was terrible yesterday. You follow me?
Yeah.
Listen to me, guys. Read my shirt, man. Read my shirt. Fear doesn't stop death. It stops life. If you're scared, get a Rottweiler. Say what you got to say. Stand on something. Phil, you hear me?
I hear you.
Stand on something, man. They told me the other day that I got denied, what you call it, Phil? Did she tell you?
No.
Yeah, I got denied monetization with YouTube.
Oh, because your content?
Yeah. Did you know that was going to happen?
From this episode, yeah.
So they said Don Miller can't be monetized. So he can't make no money from YouTube. I'm almost at 1 million views on that. Nah, he can't get no money. Because your stuff you say don't fall in line with what we want to be said. Mm-hmm. And guess what? I just won't get no money from YouTube. I'm be honest, man. Because I am convinced that when my bell ring, boy, when my bell ring, Phil, when they ring, bing, Don Miller, get your ass over. It's time for you to leave. Mm-hmm. At least somebody, I don't know how many, but somebody gonna say, man, that dude called it like he saw it.
Yep.
And that's all. Listen to me. When you're born, on your tombstone, it has the year you were born, the date, year, then it has a dash, and it has the year, it all wrapped up for you, right? What's important is the dash, Phil. What did you do in that space? I remember a song growing up as a kid. My mama used to sing it as a solo, Sunlight Missionary Baptist Church. Have I given anything today? And the lyrics were poignant and went right to the point. Have I given anything today? Have I helped some needed soul along the way? Just to know I've done my best. When I go to take my rest, then my living shall not be in vain. Now, how many of us put emphasis on that?
That's deep, though, man.
Huh?
I said that's deep.
So, yeah, I need this money, y'all. Y'all might have to see me on the iPhone feed next. But I'm not discouraged by not being monetized. I'm not discouraged. I got people that love me, and we're going to get this done, right? But you can mute me, but I'm definitely going to keep talking, Phil.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
You can mute me, but I'm not going to stop talking. So thank you so much, everybody. Again, yeah, you know, it ain't for the faint of heart. When people's like, hey, what are you talking about? Yeah, it ain't for the faint of heart.
Don, do you have Rumble?
I'm going to Rumble. You going to let me announce this or you going to do it?
I didn't know.
Yes, I'm going to Rumble. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to my friend Shannon Burke. Shout out to Bubba the Love Sponge. These guys, especially Shannon's been pushing Rumble for me to go to Rumble. So, yes, that's where I'm going to end up. Everybody stay tuned. Follow us on all platforms. You're going to hear where I land. But we're going to be on Rumble, this same show. I got to figure out how it works. Phil, I guess he knows more than me. Yep. He never said anything about Rumble to me. I had to have other people tell me, but you know how that go. Phil, so anyway, so the question is, how did we get here? How did we get here from living through very difficult times during the Jim Crow era and segregation in the South and 5 or 6 million people fleeing the South, going north, and starting from nothing? How did we get here? Because I think that we have made great strides, right? And I'm looking around and then I'm listening to the unlearned engage in ridiculous ass unlearned conversation. And I'm looking at the CEO of Sam's Club, Walgreens, and Starbucks, a black woman from Spelman. I'm looking at all of these people who've done so well. Not by throwing a ball or hitting the ball or running fast. People have gone to great strides to work hard and do well. And now we are out here in these streets with the level of unbelievable ratchetness. Yet so many people are cheering this unbelievable ratchetness on. You got people like the young lady, Sexy Red, who sold 1 million, got 100 million views and her biggest song is about a guy pounding her private parts. And her other song is about her getting a venereal disease, okay, or I gotta say STD, right? Mm-hmm. And she's selling records, and she's got a line of cosmetics, and one of them is called Gonorrhea Green, and people are buying them and putting them on their bodies.
She a plant?
Absolutely. But when we see people cheer people like this on, people that are takers and nobody's giving back, and the mega church, which I contend ruined the black community. Ooh. The mega church, it ruined our community, Phil.
Hot take. Why do you say that?
I'll tell you why, Phil. Before the mega church, there were smaller churches. And before 1971, almost 86% of black people and white people who went to church, 76%, they walked to church because the churches that they worshiped at were in proximity to where they live. So there were churches in the community that people walked to. Now with the mega church, if you look at the numbers in the mega church, I'm pretty sure less than 10% of the people can walk to the mega church. Maybe. And then the mega church has become such an institution of, let me just say this. The mega church has become so seeker friendly. Well, let me tell you what I mean by seeker friendly. When ain't nobody gonna hit them with no real fire and brimstone or no real word regarding accountability and living right and living for this Christ you call your Savior. So now it's everything is soft shoe. You got to be careful what you say, because we got the gays in the church that are tied more than the non-gays, okay? Because the non-gays got child support and a wife. Yeah. You follow me? Mm-hmm. And so nobody is calling it out or saying things or addressing the wrongs. Nobody talks about philandering and all the things that are scriptural, quite frankly. 1 Timothy, the qualifications of an overseer, a bishop, a pastor. It always speaks immediately to a husband and one wife. But there's no standard. And so the bigger the church, the smaller the word, because you don't want to lose that money. So now, back in the day when a guy went to the ministry and attached himself to the word of God, I remember growing up in church, all my pastors had jobs, right?
Okay.
And even the one who had a lot of people still had something else he did. The problem is now it is such a business. And can you imagine being attached to an environment where people are so comfortably bullying you? See, I think there's an element in the black church that I would consider bullying.
I agree. That's why I left.
Okay. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Bullying, right? It's just very aggressive bullying. And nobody wants to say it. But so I'm watching something the other day. And then it goes back to the fact that when I saw guys who, this is what they did. They studied oftentimes they went to school and they came back and they came back to lead people and preach the word. Then I saw every entertainer become a pastor. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought you were a singer. I'm a pastor now because I'm getting old. I can't sing like I used to, right? Why not jump over in this box? Kind of goes with the conversation about every pastor's wife is now a pastor. But that's because if you set up as a 501c3, that's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, that's about a check. But so I'm watching the other day, and this guy who's a big singer, I guess he's had some good songs. I only remember one of his songs. A guy by the name of Marvin Sapp, who's a big pastor in America, black pastor, former singer, Grammy Award-winning singer, and he became a pastor, as many of them do. And I'm watching this, and something transpires that threw me off. Watch this.
And they understand the cost that is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I just think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife, Melinda P. Sapp, was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws. I wasn't cheap, that's swag. I was looking in her eyes, she's looking in mine. Can't do that no more. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100. Because again, it costs to sit up here. I got you. Let's see. So.
All right, stop here. Look at them clowns going in their wallets, man. Listen to me. I grew up in a terrible neighborhood. And growing up, I knew some pimps. He sounds like every pimp I ever knew. He sounds like every pimp that I ever knew. And then you bully people and you kidnap them by saying,
close the doors.
Close the doors. He wasn't a pastor, Michelle, till he decided that's where the real money was. Close the doors. Lock the doors. Everybody give me $20. Kind of like a stick up.
Jeez. In the name of God, $20.
Kind of like a stick up. Huh?
Give me $20. Don, you can't leave until you give me $100.
But again, how is that? How did we get here?
Lock those.
Do you ever think any of the great civil rights ministers of our past said, close the door, lock the door, get down and lay down. Get down and lay down. Come on. This dude, how is this okay? People don't even understand, especially church people. When y'all being bullied, man, y'all been bullied. Church people, that's why I got a friend, she churchy, and they was bullying her son at school, and she didn't even recognize it because she go every Sunday and get bullied. Well, I think they bullying him. This dude just bullied you people. Lock the doors. Even if I was going to give him $20, guess what happened when he came like that at me?
Nope.
I bow up and let me out. Okay? Let me out of this. Boop. Right? Sorry, Jesus. But the point I'm making is this. How did we get to this point? This dude, all of a sudden, he's a pastor. And there are people who went there with nothing just to get a good word. Now there's a charge. There's a fee. Come on. What happened to allowing people to give if they had it? And as I was growing up, it was always like that. Just if you have some, that's fine. If you don't, boom, right? Ain't nobody had to stand up. The ushers came, passed the plate. Nobody embarrassed. Then they got these clowns. Come up. If you ain't got none, come up here and put your hand on the plate. Try me. Somebody's money gonna come up off the plate, right? Why would you do that? If you ain't got none, just come on up and put your hand on the plate. No, that's bullying. That's embarrassing people. How did we get to that? If you got it on your heart to give. But you can give in other ways. You can volunteer. You can help people. It ain't always about money. Well, let me guess. You don't get credit for that? Huh? You don't get credit for doing good by people, volunteering, helping people?
PJ said he needs to make rent. PJ said he needs to make rent.
Okay, well, whatever. But you don't get credit for other stuff? Then I'm not familiar with this. Hey, Pastor, look, I ain't gonna get paid till next week, but I will volunteer down at the shelter. No, we don't need that. What was that just up?
They have no respect for the word of God.
None. None. Pastor, can I volunteer down at the shelter for 2 hours when I get off? No, that ain't enough. I need 20 twin twin. That's what he need. He need a 20 twin twin. It's frustrating to watch, but what's more important, Phil, is it's frustrating to watch people who look like me think that this is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay, Marvin. What's his name?
Sapp.
It's not okay, man. And you should go to your pulpit on Sunday and apologize and tell them, these people, that you didn't mean it that way. Because that was bullying. Close the doors, ushers. I mean, close the doors. Like, ain't nobody leaving up out of here. Right? Mm-hmm. Did all them clowns on the pulpit, nobody want to be embarrassed. I wish I would give you $100. They just reaching in their pocket, but he already done told them backstage the truth, okay? Hey, look, we finna hit these people. Just act like you got 100, Deacon Jones. Pastor Mills, act like you got 100, okay? He already, they just in the green room laying out the plan. We finna get these fools.
So David's got a comment here.
Yes.
It says, people are so desperate to believe in something bigger than themselves that scammers can milk them dry and they will hand over their money as fast as they can.
Dave, I hate to tell you you're right, but you're damn right, man. And they all them little men up there in them little suits, they was in the green room drinking scotch, getting ready. Hey, man, we finna run a cold one on them. Let me tell you something. I've been thinking I'm going to ask everybody for $20. Huh? $20.
Next week it'll be 50.
Okay, read that, Phil.
When you give to Farrakhan, you get a newspaper and life-saving teachings. Anything else is nonsense.
First of all, that's actually a point when you give. Nobody I've ever seen on the corners for the Nation of Islam just asking for money. They give you something. You eat bean pie. Phil, you ever had a bean pie?
No.
Oh, my goodness, Phil. Bean pie, the final call, you get something, okay? But nobody just asks for money, and nobody makes you feel bullied. Right? You don't have to agree or believe in somebody else's religious walk, but that was blatant bullying. This guy, Marvin, what's his name?
Marvin Sapp.
He's a, damn, I said I wasn't going to do that today. But again, black folk, y'all need to really look at what's happening. Because if I was white and I was looking in, I'd be laughing my ass off. Because you blaming white folk for all your woes and all your struggles. Donald Trump is the reason why Marvin, what's his name?
Marvin Sapp.
Asked for that money. Donald Trump. That's Donald Trump. That's why Marvin, asked for that money, okay? I'm trying not to get sued.
Too late.
All right, but Marvin Sapp is an asshole. But anyway, fast forward. But the point I make is this. Come on. Don't let anybody bully. You're a grown-ass person. You don't have to love the... The great sin of American Christian is not real. Thank you, Denny. You 100%, man. That's absolutely it. Because books don't what? Books don't bite. That includes the Bible. I was scared of dogs till I got one, Phil. Then I got one out loud. It ain't that bad. Books don't bite. Again, thank you so much, everybody. Subscribe and like. Tell your friends what we're talking about every Thursday, a bunch of different stuff. Tonight, I wanted to come in and just kind of get something off my chest. We got a great guest next week. I'm going to announce who the guest is on Monday. If you follow us on all platforms, The Don Miller Show, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok almost. Yeah.
You on TikTok?
Yeah, if I can remember the password. Phil, let me just say this, man. I want to hit something else at the end of the day. Phil, you ever been around a black person?
Yes.
Let me finish.
Okay.
You ever been around a black person that did something so ridiculous that you raised your hand and was like, I ain't really with him?
Oh, yes.
Okay?
Yep.
So let me just say something to black people and white people too. Right? Anybody could engage in this conversation, right? I know my white buddies that I hang out with, I've been with them when one of their other white buddies do something stupid and everybody says, I'm not with him, okay? And I know I done had to do it, okay? I told the story on the air when I just had to be like, I don't even know him like that, officer, okay? when the police come, right? You the one
Yep.
decided to swing on that man.
Yep.
Okay?
Same situation.
I don't even know him, officer. You know what I mean? So the point is, and it's okay when we see stupidity to pull back from it. So let me tell you what happened in beautiful Pennsylvania the other day. This lady named LaTarsha, she worked for the city, and apparently she's on the school board of this town, this county. And LaTarsha, kind of like Justice Smollett, y'all remember him, the flaming homosexual who lied in Chicago a few years ago?
Oh, my God.
Okay? So kind of like Justice Smollett, LaTarsha goes to her job, and let's play this news clip.
Today, an Allentown employee who claimed that someone left a noose on her desk is now accused of planting it there herself. Police arrested and charged LaTarsha Brown. They say back in January, she reported finding a noose on her desk at City Hall. An investigation was launched because of that. The noose was submitted for DNA analysis. Police used a court order to get a sample of Brown's DNA, which they say matched the only DNA found on that item. Brown is now facing false reporting and evidence tampering charges.
Okay, hold on. Phil,
Dude.
get your girl.
Bro.
Listen, the noose on the desk don't work no more, okay? Even the most racist white person is not driving around in the F-150 with a noose. What you think, Phil?
No.
Huh?
No, they're not.
Even the racist Deep Lake County, Liberty County, Kane County, they ain't riding around with a noose in the F-150. LaTarsha's black ass decides she gonna go to the office with a whole. Let me ask you a question. Maybe I'm not familiar, because Phil, you could ask the other gentleman in the studio. Where you buy a noose?
Amazon, man.
Where you buy a noose, man?
Timu.
Where you buy a noose? Even if I wanted a noose.
Alibaba.
If I wanted a noose, I would not know where to purchase a noose. Right?
How do you tie it?
Even the makers of noose would be considered racist. If you selling nooses, you racist, right? Who? Hold on, wait, slow down, y'all. See, I think y'all just laughing at me. Y'all trying. Think about this, okay? Acme Noose Manufacturing Company, located in Montgomery, Alabama, right? That's the most racist company in America. Acme Noose Manufacturing. Huh? A&M, right? They on the stock market. A&M, right? On the NASDAQ. Cut it out. Where do you buy a noose? Where did LaTarsha buy a noose? Is there a YouTube channel you can go and learn how to tie a noose? It's got to be really painstakingly hard to tie a whole ass noose.
They're on PetSmart. But I see them on Amazon.
Listen to me. Listen to me. If you're selling nooses as your first income, you a racist.
Oh shit.
Huh?
Hold on, look at this.
You a racist if you're selling nooses.
Hold
If you
on.
got a nooses in your Buick, okay, you see? You see? Okay, let me tell you something, right? If you know how to tie that noose, I'm gonna call you a racist, okay? If you got a noose in your Buick, you a racist. Who rides around with a noose? Now, call me, put the number on the screen. We got some deeply Southern white folk. Call me right now. Tell me where I could buy a noose. And you're going to get a gift card to Waffle House. Okay? And go with your cousin. Where can I buy a noose, man?
Amber said she had a manager that had one in his truck and even shown her and her coworkers. She quit that day.
She quit Subway.
The next day.
But think about this. Amber lived well. Amber lived in Bronson, Florida. Mm-hmm. There's a noose in every house in Bronson, Florida, okay? I don't even know what county that is. What county is that?
Oh, that's a Noose County.
Huh? Noose County, right. Like, come on, okay? Amber's a Caucasian from the island of Caucasus, okay? Listen to me. My point is this. So, LaTarsha, dark-skinned ass, put LaTarsha picture on that screen.
All right.
Dark-skinned ass LaTarsha. Go to her job. Beautiful black woman. Look at her, just smiling. Like, I'm LaTarsha. How you doing? Okay, got a nice ass lace front. It's a little crooked, but it's still nice. You can tell. it's coming to an end. She probably got a new one by now. That was last week. Let me just say this, though. Latasha take a whole ass noose to the office, take it in her purse, look around, and everybody's leaving the office. Finally, ain't nobody in the office but Latasha. And she take the noose out of her purse, and she lay it on the desk. Then she run out and go home, only to come back to the office the next morning and holler out, "There's a noose on my desk."
Oh, my God.
Call the police. And the supervisor comes over. And the supervisor says, "Oh, my God, Latasha, I know the trauma is, go home for 5 days on the house." Because the trauma was overwhelming for her to show up at her desk and see a noose. All the memories of the era gone by flashed before her eyes. So the whole office was just sending Latasha love offerings and gift bags for a whole last week. "Oh, Latasha, we're not like that. We're not racist. Only the person who left the noose." Stay with me, Phil. Can you imagine the people in that office were so nervous that somebody amongst them was a blatant racist who would leave a noose on the desk? I could see Megan looking at Karen and Karen looking at Megan. I could see all the Bobs looking at each other. Huh? Mm-hmm. Which one of you guys did this to Latasha? So the police come. Hi, I'm Inspector Miller. We're going to get DNA from everybody in the office because we need to get to the bottom of this. Who was working that day? Everybody. Well, please go, boom. Everybody's DNA. Latasha, based on what I'm reading, said no to taking a DNA test the same day everybody else in the office took a DNA test. Now, Detective Miller found that strange. Well, why wouldn't Latasha, whose desk it is, take a DNA test? So finally, they went to the courts, and the courts ordered Latasha to take a DNA test. Test come back, ain't no DNA on the noose but Latasha's. Did she touch the noose when she saw the noose? Did she pick the noose up? First of all, Phil, I come in my office, sit down at my desk, and there's a noose. I ain't touching it. What about you?
Nope.
Right. Amber? Nope. Quetta Jean Johnson? Sandra? Nope. Nobody's gonna touch the noose. The only person who touched the noose that was black before and it wasn't on their neck was Jesse lying-ass, gay-ass Mole. The only black person that randomly picked up a noose. Right? No black person's gonna touch the noose unless the noose is on their neck. But Latasha had her DNA on the noose. Fast forward, they investigated, found out Latasha was lying. Put Latasha's picture back on the screen. How did we get here? Latasha's on the school board of Allentown, Pennsylvania. We need to fire her from every job that she got and make her start all over again. And I just want white people, because they so scared now they don't know what to do. It's okay. As I said in the beginning of this conversation, she's not with us. She's not with us. And we got to be comfortable raising our hand saying she's not with us. What was Latasha trying to do, Phil?
She probably had beef with Karen or somebody.
She got a good-ass job. You got 2 jobs. You're on the school board. You work for the city. Okay? You're making a good money because that ain't a cheap lace front. That look like that Yankee number 17. That good lace front, that good hair. See the hair on the other side laid right. See, anyway, that's too much. Anyway, but the point I'm making is this, guys. We need to see Latasha get the highest penalty for what she did because Jesse didn't get it. And these are people who are driving this ridiculousness. I don't care what color they are, black or white. I don't care. If you think it's a good idea to create this kind of racial situation, Latasha need to lose her jobs and probably do 10 days in jail. Just like that idiot in St. Louis, I don't know, was it St. Louis somewhere? Oh, it was in Montgomery. Said that she saw a baby walking down the highway and pulled over to pick the baby up, and it was a white man that snatched it and put her in the back of an 18-wheeler. He had orange hair and yada, yada, only to find out she was lying. Everybody was looking for her. For 3 days, they looking for her. She holed up in a hotel eating Skittles. Mm-hmm. Lock her up. And anybody who plays this game, man, lock them up. Wow, a noose on her desk. Can you imagine coming to work and there's a noose on your desk? I probably would just take a picture of the noose and play it off. Won't even say nothing all day and just see who act funny. Right? Because whoever put the noose on your desk is going to be the one that be like, oh, hey, Don, you see anything on your desk today? No. Should I? You follow me? Mm-hmm. Then they're going to feel defeated. Like, I put a noose on his desk and he didn't even acknowledge it. Latasha, lose your job. You cannot be on the school board. The precedent you're setting is horrible. And I just want to ask, how do we get to here and how do we get away from this? We have to do better to be better. It's just appalling to me. You got these idiots like Marvin, what's his name?
Marvin Sapp.
Okay, you got him. You just got the daddy who is doing too much, the daddy who's enabling, the daddy who is attaching himself to mental illness. Stop it, man. There are people out here who really, really, really love their kids that are not going to engage in some of the things that. But why? You know you could love your kid and not agree with everything they do, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just wondered because I don't think some people know you can love your kid and think they're an idiot. You can love your kid and totally disagree with them, right?
Yeah.
All right? And that's okay. That don't mean you don't love your kid. But to show up in a purple-ass suit.
My husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
Look at the daddy. The daddy ain't been in that boy's life. That's why there ain't but 4 people that his daddy see him off. I tell you how many people agree with it. Man, I wish that young man the best in life and hope he finds his way. And if he decides to do that, that's fine. But I just don't think I'll never think that's okay. And to the dad, man, Mr. Sir, don't be pushed into a situation. You see the dad like, damn, who said that? Ain't nobody tell me they was going to have cameras out here. Now he got to go back to the plant. And everybody at the plant looking at him with the side eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know that hashtag plant life ain't no joke. Can you imagine going back to the plant after that? You know somebody at the plant was like, hey, I saw your video. It went viral. Nice suits.
No, all his friends are doing this. They're saying...
Gay. I'm telling you, man, it's just, come on. So listen, everybody, again, this was a short, soft show. Next week, we had a great conversation. Subscribe and like, really, please. Just tell people about the show. Today, I just wanted to come in here, hang out with Phil and the guys, and just have a good conversation. Phil, can you put my sponsors up, please?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Let's go real quick. Casa Leon Jewelers, beautiful Casa Leon Jewelers, Lake Mary, Yvette Renee. These are my friends.
They were in the chat, so
yeah, excellent. I love them so much. Casa Leon, Lake Mary, Florida. That's my family.
It's too dark.
Hey, Joel over at
Mission? That Mission?
No, come on, man.
My bad.
You can't read the thing. Put it in front of me.
I know. I got to move all this because we got the black background.
Okay, right.
So that was Brothers in Arms.
Brothers in Arms. Just Joel, man. Yeah. Lake Mary, Florida.
Here, is that better?
Oh, everybody knows Joel's amazing. Follow him on all platforms. He's got really good barbecue.
Yeah, Flex Auto.
Yeah. That's my man. You know, come on. That's my boy, Felix.
Yeah.
You got to put Robbie up there. He's going to be mad.
Which one was Robbie?
The Vineyard.
The Vineyard, okay. There we go.
There we go. Vineyard Lake Mary. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. Shout out to Yvette and Renee, who I just saw on my way here. Listen, subscribe and like, guys. We got a live broadcast at a location coming up. We're going to announce that next week so people can come out. Happy birthday, Jeff, man. Appreciate you, man. Sparky, love you, boy. The Fragrance Ministry is having a Fragrance Ministry meeting. All who want to attend, go to the church website, the Fragrance Ministry. Let me tell you what they do in the Fragrance Ministry field. They just spray fragrance on each other in the name of the Lord. Okay. They got a Fragrance Ministry. Sister Latanya is in charge of that, I think, over there at the House of the Lord. So shout out to all of those. Phil, shout out to boys in the room, man.
Oh, Kaylin and Maui here, podcast doctor team.
So listen, again, thank you so much for joining the show. If you just tuned in tonight, this is not the normal show. We just wanted to come in, have a good time, have some laughs, but talk about something real. And black folk, y'all really need to stop doing too much. And I'm telling you right now, Jasmine Crockett is not your savior. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right. See ya.
Check your feelings, he's turning wrongs to right. Every Thursday at 8, his voice takes the stage. The man's got